the UNFCCC, it's an acronym that stands for the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, but we call it either the Convention or UNFCCC for short, or sometimes UN Climate Change. So we were born out of the Convention, which was a legal document adopted in 1992 at the Rio Earth Summit, together with our sister conventions on land and desertification, and also on biodiversity. So we are really the intergovernmental process where countries come together to negotiate various aspects on climate change. Me personally, I work on climate finance, focusing on adaptation finance, which is money to help countries adapt to the impacts of climate change, and also on loss and damage finance, which is finance trying to help countries deal with the impacts after they have already happened. The workshop that we did this week together with the colleagues from the UNCCD covered a lot of different aspects on land and the multi-governmental process on land, and also we complemented that with the aspects also on climate change. So what I looked at with the students were the convention itself and also the Paris Agreement, which was adopted in 2015. So we started by really looking at, okay, what are the objectives and the goals of the convention and the Paris Agreement? We then turned to look at one of the newest institutions that have emerged from these processes, namely the Fund for Responding to Loss and Damage. And we looked at, okay, what is the progress in establishing this new institution and what are the milestones that are upcoming? And we looked at this mainly to understand how does the multilateral process evolve over time to meet growing needs of countries in dealing with climate change. And then we looked at some examples of how does the multilateral process on climate change actually work. So what are examples of decision texts and how did parties come to these decision texts? So what were the strategies used to reach compromise and how does that actually look on the page? And then this manifested or fed into the exercise that the students did on multilateral negotiations focused on land, but implementing some of these strategies and also taking into account the synergies with climate change as well.